Well, good afternoon, Phillies fans, and welcome back to the Fighting's Final here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network with your boy Matty B on the call. And the Phillies come out in a dramatic fashion. I'm going to say it was dramatic because I honestly thought this game was on the way to the L column, but they found a way, rallied late, get the 6-1 win for home opener, and a beautiful day at the ballpark today. Temperatures are close to 80 degrees. Big day for a lot of Philadelphia Philly players, and let's get right to it. Chris Sanchez comes out, I think, eager to prove himself that it was not a one-year fluke, that he can be a consistent starter in this rotation, and he pitched well through 5 innings of this ball game. Gave up the one mistake to the very young, good-looking Rockies catcher, Hunter Goodman. But that's it. That was pretty much the entire line on Christopher Sanchez negatively. For the game, he went 5 1/3, 4 hits, 1 run. It was earned. It was 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, and of course, the 1 home run. 93 pitches through 5 1/3 innings. You're never going to sell me on an effective outing being 90-some pitches through 5 innings, but it was enough as he kept the Rockies at bay. He does not figure in the win, but pitched well. And on the other side, for the Rockies, German Marquez, equally as effective, if not more. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 4 strikeouts, no runs, 83 pitches through 6, kept the Phillies down and out. Phillies were down 1-0, and things were not looking good. Yeah, they weren't. I mean, the old things that we've been talking about through the Phillies seasons over the last 3 or 4 years have been the same things we're talking about this year. This team's lack of ability to drive runners in while in scoring position. At one point, I think the 5th inning, the Phillies had gone 0 for their last 12 with runners in scoring position. Now, I counter all this by saying, physician heal thyself, because I myself have said that I was going to live this thing more by game, whole game. I wasn't going to judge this thing by 4 or 5 or 6 innings. I was going to wait to the end of the game to make my final judgment. And the Phillies came on when they had to. Mondo friggin' Sosa, who's been given an opportunity to play early on because of the injury situation with Trey Turner, huge day. 3 hits. What was it? 3 hits on the day for that guy? Yeah, 2 hits, 2 RBIs, the clutch double to give the Phillies a 2-1 lead. And then Kyle Schwarber would follow that up with a home run, and then Castellanos would go back to back with the home run. They blow it open late and coast to a 6-1 victory over the, is it still fair to call them the hapless Colorado Rockies? I don't want to, disrespect the Rockies or anything, but 6-1 winners today. Phillies 3-1 now on the season, finish up the month of March 3-1 as well. And welcome back to the Fighting's Final. By the way, Matty B is now 2-0 as your host on the Fighting's Final. That's right, leading the way. Great win today. Yes, Joe Hale, it was an outstanding win today, but I temper everything by saying it wasn't looking like that, man. Listen, and I want to give a theory here, Joe, and I want to see what everybody out there has to say about it. Through 4 games, the Phillies have scored 2 earned runs against starting pitching. And all those 2 runs came in the National Series. They had not scored any earned runs against Rocky starting pitching. Is that a concern to anybody? And I'm asking that because I don't know where I stand on that, because it's not 1980. All right. It's Tom Seaver, Nolan Ryan, Steve Carlton. Those guys don't pitch anymore. It's not a starter-driven league. There's not too many complete games happening these days. It's a bullpen-driven league these days. And I don't know why teams don't pay more attention to the construction of their bullpens, because honestly, to me, that's where the money is, because they rely, and we rely, and everybody in baseball relies on the bullpens every single game, heavily, more and more every year. The Phillies have struggled mightily against starting pitching into the 4 games into the season. Now, it's 2 parts to the game, right? It's the starters and the bullpen. You got to be equally as effective, and the Phillies have feasted on opposition's bullpens. And the Phillies bullpen, been all right, but their starting pitching has been locked down, and they've kept the Phillies hanging around the game. So I'm asking you out there, is there concern that the Phillies cannot score runs against starting pitching, at least through 4 games? 2 earned runs through 4 games against starters. But they're 3-1, and they're finding ways to win late, which, again, it doesn't really matter because they're finding ways to win. Max Kepler looked good. Yeah, Max Kepler, Joe, with his first Phillies home run. I think he was the one who somebody had 3 hits today. Who the hell was it? It was, it was Kepler. I knew somebody. 3 for 4 with a run an RBI and the home run late there to kind of icing on the cake there, cherry on the top type thing, as Kepler continues to swing a mean stick. And then I don't know if you guys caught this yesterday from Rob Thompson when asked why he did not pinch hit Kepler yesterday instead of pinch hitting Clemens. And Thompson said, and I can't, it's on the Twitter thing, man, look it up. I can't make this stuff up. Thompson said because Clemens had seen the pitcher in the minor leagues. That was the reason. That was the reason why he didn't go with Kepler pinch hitting yesterday, because Clemens had seen that pitcher in the minor leagues. Cannot make that stuff up, man. Amazing. I mean, that's analytics to a whole nother level. Wow. Al's checking in with his 0-1 hosting duties record. I said yesterday Sosa was the most underrated signing of the Phillies in the last decade. He wasn't a signing, Al. He was a trade. It was a trade in the middle of the summer of 2022. What was it? I don't even remember who the hell. Wasn't it another position, like utility guy, that went to St. Louis? Or was it a scrub-ass pitcher? It was one or the other. But no, I agree. Holistically, I agree with your point. Sosa has been a godsend, given the opportunity early, and definitely cashing in on that opportunity. I gotta tip your cap to him, and I guess that's a good thing, right? When you look at potentially trying to rush Trey Turner back or rush anybody back if they get hurt, because don't forget Sosa can play anywhere in the diamond, to include catch. So you got to look at that as well. It's been a godsend. Now the question is, because Turner with a day off tomorrow, and Turner potentially, he pinch hit today. Does Turner come back into the starting lineup on Thursday or Wednesday? And what do you do with Sosa? Do you take the hot bat out of the lineup? I mean, the Phillies have not been. It's been a struggle, kind of getting some consistent offense rolling. Do you sit Sosa, or do you continue riding the hot stick in the hot hand, or you give somebody else a day off and you put Sosa in? So, interesting question here to ponder for the Phillies as we move through the early part of the season. Joe Hale says, no, it's not. It's early still. Joe, it's early in this season, yes, but it's the same old stuff, man, when it comes to trying to produce runs. Now, this whole not being able to score against starting pitchers, that's kind of a nuance to 2024. And I mentioned on the Twitter thing as well at one point with the Schwarber strikeout, I believe that was in the 5th inning. The Phillies were then 0 for their last 12 with runners in scoring position. Currently, the Phillies are now 8. Or not 8. They're 10 for, what I want to say, 10 for 34. Is that what it is right now? 10 for 37 with runners in scoring position. A 270 batting average, which I'll accept that. I'll take 270. But yeah, no, it's a concern, and it's a concern that's going to bother me, and it drives me crazy. I should have RISP tattooed on my forehead, because it is one of the more commonly uttered words that I say from April to November every year. It's probably the most common word I'll say between April and November every single season. So I agree. Again, 4 games in, I get it. And 3-1 in the month of March. I mean, we were 3-1. Last year we were 1-3 in March, if you guys recall. So take that for what it is. Small concern, but too early to panic. Who's saying panic? I didn't say panic. I'm not saying panic, but is it a concern? Is it a concern that our bullpen is struggling and we can't hit starting pitching? I mean, is that a concern? I think it is. Also, the home runs. Phillies pitching surrendered 2 more home run or 1 more home run today. Through 4 games, the Phillies pitching staff has given up an ungodly, 7 home runs? 7 home runs through 4 games. Don't tell me that ain't a concern. Hell yeah, that's a concern. 7 home runs through 4 games against the Nationals and the Rockies. All right, we haven't even gotten anybody decent, and we've given up 7 home runs. That is definitely a concern, and this is kind of playing off of what happened last year in the second half. One of the bigger numbers that changed between the first and second half last season was the home runs given up. And I remember, who was it out there that said, "Oh yeah, Al. I'm sorry, Al. I'm going to throw you under the bus. You told me, and I remember this. Matter of fact, your exact words to me were, don't worry, that's baseball, and it's because we can't find a consistent 5th starter." Well, Al, we haven't gotten to the 5th starter yet this year, and they're launching balls out of the ballpark. So what is it now, Al? What is it now? Let me see, folks. That's right. Welcome to today's installment of Big Al's Excuse Emporium. That's right. Last year, Big Al told me the reason why the Phillies pitching is giving up a lot of home runs is because we cannot find a consistent fifth starter, and is because that's baseball. So this year, new for 2025, the That's Baseball aisle 14 at the Big Al's Excuse Emporium, servicing all of your baseball-driven reality needs. That's right. Stop in today. Big Al's Excuse Emporium, aisle 14. That's baseball. And that's brought to you by Big Al's Excuse Emporium, established in 2024. Had to do it. Had to do it, man. Braves Profar suspended 80 games for PEDs. I did not see that. Big Al with the breaking news. That's a big-ass blow to that lineup, man. Jackson Profar was a huge pickup by them in the offseason. Wow. That's what? That's strike two, an 80 game, right? That's a strike two? What the hell was Bryce doing trying for a double in this eighth? Horrible base running. And again, we go back to the whole, what is it, Steve? You cannot win a World Series in March and April, but you can certainly lose one. And you're right. And look, I don't know, man. I'm always for aggressive base running. And Bryce Harper has been known in the past to make less than smart choices on the base bats, especially early and late in the season, as we all remember. But I'm never really going to fault a guy, especially with the situation as the Phillies were in at that point in the game, trying to generate, push some more offense across the board. Phillies have been struggling to find some footing, and Bryce took it upon himself to be that spark and attempt. But you're right. I mean, a guy that's been around as long as he has should understand situational base running and all that. I agree. Relief pitcher. What's a relief pitcher? Trey Turner walk was big today. It got things rolling. And but again, the question I go back to you is, if now that Trey Turner is healthy enough to get back into the lineup, what do you do with Armando Sosa? Do you sit him, or do you continue to ride the big hot stick? And please, nobody nobody cut that out or clip that what I just said. I as it was coming out of my mouth, I was like, yeah, get back in here. Whoa. All right, yeah. So what do you do there? What do you do? He's practiced in the outfield. Yes. Man, I'm like way behind on all this. Are you talking about Sosa practicing in the outfield? Who are you talking about? Michael Papernick says, good win for the Phillies. Michael, I'm surprised to see you chiming in with something positive to say here. And I'll ask you, Michael Papernick, Rob Thompson's #1 fan. What do the Phillies do with Armando Sosa now that Trey Turner is allegedly ready to return to the starting lineup? Do you sit Sosa, or do you find a way to incorporate him somewhere else into the lineup until he stops swinging a good stick? And I think whatever it's the torpedo bat or a regular bat, I don't care what bat it is, he's swinging a good one. What do you do with Sosa now that Turner could potentially? Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you, Al. I saw your follow-up to relief pitcher. Yeah. No, it wasn't JoJo Romero, was it? I don't think it was. What do you do with Sosa, Mike? What does Robbie do with Sosa? If you were Rob Thompson, what would you do? And that's a question to everybody. If you guys were Rob Thompson, what would you do with Armando Sosa? I say you got to find a way to play him. Let's return to the box score. Let's go over some of the scoring in this game. Let's talk Phillies. Let's talk box score, line scores. Phillies or the Rockies on the day, 1 run, 6 hits on no errors. Phillies 6 hits or 6 runs, 11 hits and no errors. Offensive standouts for the Phillies. Where do I start? I guess you go with the guy that had the most hits. Kepler 3 for 4 with a run, a homer, an RBI, and a homer. His very first in a Phillies uniform. Armando Sosa, though. The 2 hits that he had were extremely clutch. 2 for 3 with a run and 2 RBIs. It really kind of got the engine rolling for the Phillies with those 2 runs to give the Phillies the lead. And then Kyle Schwarber continues to hit clutch. 1 for 4. I told you this in the preseason or the preview show. I don't care if Schwarber, Harper, Castellanos, Remuto go 1 for 4 in games. As long as that one is somewhere in the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning, that's a big hit. And that home run was definitely huge. 2 RBIs, a 2-run shot, give the Phillies a little bit of cushion. And he also picked up the home run. Okay. And then, and I already mentioned Kepler's day. Offensive standouts for the Rockies. Listen, Sanchez, and to Sanchez, Kerkering, Ross, Alvarado, and Romano. Is it Romano now, I hear? It's not Romano, it's Romano. It's credit. They locked it down. Phillies pitching in the bullpen, limiting the Rockies all day offensively. The big standout for me was that good-looking catcher for the Rockies, Hunter Goodman, was 1 for 4 with that home run. The only offense that was kind of early on in the game that gave the Rockies the early lead, but a good-looking young catching prospect bouncing around all day long behind the plate, keeping wild pitches in front of him. That's the kind of young catcher that I thought we had in a man by the name of Logan O'Hoppe. Now he's doing that out in Los Angeles. But yeah, I like that. So I'll give him the offensive standout of the day for the Rockies. Let's go into pitching a little bit. Sanchez, as mentioned at the top, 5 1/3, 4 hits, a run. It was earned, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Give up the homer, 93 pitches through 5 1/3. Never going to sell me on that being in a productive outing. That's labored. 93 pitches through 5 1/3 innings is labored. And he did pitch out of a few jams, but to his credit, he pitched out. Kerkering, a half an inning with a walk. Ross, who got the win today, his first win as a Philly, 1 inning, gave up a hit and had a strikeout. Alvarado came in with the hold, an inning, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. And Romano, that's right, don't call me Romano, it's Romano, 1 inning, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. For the Rockies, German Marquez, 6 innings of magical work for the Rockies, 4 hits, no runs, no runs, struck out 4. And then the bullpen came in and kind of undone itself. Alexander, Vodnik, and Balak came in and just didn't well, surrendered 6 runs essentially. And there you go. There you have it. Let's talk scoring summary. Goodman would get it rolling for the Rockies in the 6th with the solo home run to straightaway center field. And then Sosa with the clutch double in the bottom of the 7th, scoring Trey Turner and Stott. Turner, who had walked, came on as a pinch hitter, walked, moving Stott to second. And then Sosa would knock both of them in. Schwarber then would follow that up with a 2-run jack to make it 4-1 Phillies. And then Kepler in the 8th with a homer, and then Castellanos with the homer as well in the 8th to make it 6-1. And there's your final score. Phillies win 6-1. They are now 3-1 on the season and finish up the month of March a healthy 3-1. So, oh Jesus God, I don't even know where I'm at on this, guys. Give me a minute. You guys got me all flustered here. Relief pitcher Trey Turner walk was big today. He's practicing the outfield. Good win for the Phillies. There we go. I caught up. Joe Hale put Sosa in left, Kepler in center, and Kyle as DH. Sosa in left, Kepler in center. So I'm moving. Okay. All right. Okay, I can live with that. Until he stops hitting. I still don't like Kerkering coming in the 6th. I don't like it either. I don't like Alvarado coming in the 8th either. I don't like I don't like any of that non-roll bullpen stuff. And yes, it's frustrating, man. It is. I agree with you, Mike. Got to start hitting the starters. Can't start getting going only once the bullpen comes in. So, Steve, I would agree with you if we were talking in 1987. If this was 1987 and we were sitting here having this conversation over this new thing called the internet, I would be agreeing with you, but it's not 1987. And this is where I'm having a problem with that, because you're right. On the surface, on paper, the fact that they can't hit starting pitching is troublesome, but it's not 1987. We're not getting complete games left and right. We don't have, those types of pitchers anymore. So the bullpen is a vital part of today's game. And 9 times out of 10, you're getting into a team's bullpen at some point around the 5th, 6th, 7th inning. Now, is it playing with fire? Yeah, it is, because you're asking your starters to keep everybody at bay, everybody down all the time, and not getting any sort of run support to help you out. I agree, but it's not as concrete to me as we got to start hitting starting pitching. Now, is it concerning that we're not? Yeah, but I mean, it's 2025, and the bullpens play a very key, pivotal part in today's game, more so than ever in the history of this game. So I hear you, but I'm also having, I'm torn, I guess. Braves are 0-4 in play. Yeah, Braves need a win desperately, I guess, to save their season. Imagine if we were, I didn't even want to talk about that. We're going to start hitting starters or what? Don't know, Steve. Don't know. Maybe once we stop battling the Sandy Koufaxes and the Cy Youngs of the league and pitch against some quality starting pitching. like what we got coming up against the Dodgers and the Braves. Yeah, maybe we'll start hitting. I don't know, man. I don't know. Phil's blowing up bullpens in later innings is what the season is going to be. It looks like so far. It does, Dave. Absolutely. 2 earned runs Phillies have scored off starting pitching through 4 games this year. Sosa was traded for Jojo Romero, and he practiced in the outfield. I don't remember that. I thought it was somebody else, but I'll go with Al. We absolutely traded. Was it really? I don't remember. Why do I think it was somebody else? Yeah. I know it was to the Cardinals, and I know it was the summer of 2022. I know that. I just forget who the player was. You start Trey if he's healthy at this point of the season because of how much money he's being paid. He's got to get his bats and get going. Sosa did a good job being the next man up. So you're saying Sosa needs to sit back down and wait for his next opportunity. Okay, I mean, that's a technique. But when you're struggling against starting pitching, as we've said, when you're struggling against, putting runs up, early runs, we're doing okay in late innings, but we're struggling in the early innings. Is that the right answer? I mean, are we taking some blue chips off the playing field before we can use them in order to help us out? We are struggling every game. We always score late in games. Yeah, we are. We're struggling. Eagles fan. We are struggling early. We are struggling every game. We always score late in games. But don't. We always. I mean, that's pretty a blanket statement. I don't agree, man. Listen, coming back late and scoring late and getting runs late and winning late. It's great. It's baseball. I said it, Al. I said it's baseball. It is. But is it a safe way to live? Is that how a world champion lives, right? Is that how a team that's destined to win a World Series is supposed to play? I get it. It's part of it. But the 6 innings of offensive ineptitude, it's a little head shaking. It is. And, to the Phillies' credit, though, they're working a lot of walks. Their strikeouts are way down since the 19 on opening day. They're down, I think, 8.5 as a team right now. So, there is some differences going on. But it's concerning. It's concerning that we cannot get early runs against starters. And I guess, game 5, we'll roll the dice again. And again, it's 5 games or 4 games. Totally get that. I'm certainly not going to flex on beating the first graders in a high school senior. Yeah, Steven, we got trust me, the bullies are coming. The Dodgers are coming in this weekend, and then you got the Braves, and then you got the Cardinals, and then you got, I think, the Giants, Marlins, Mets. I mean, I hear you. I absolutely 100% hear you, but I'm going to counter with this too. It's March. Everybody right now thinks they're World Series contenders, to include the Phillies. All right. Everybody's in the same boat, in my opinion, at this particular moment of the season. It's not until about Mother's Day when you kind of start seeing the herd separating a little bit. And then you still have a couple of Cinderellas still hanging around by then. But I hear what you're saying, Steve. It's the Nationals. It's the Rockies. I get it. But it's still March. Everybody is feeling good and fresh and healthy and full of expectations and hope. They're not beat down yet. So everyone's out there giving it their all. They're playing every game right now. It's like it's game 7 of the World Series, for God's sake. So I hear what you're saying, though. That's 2 clips coming on the show. Whoever's struggling offensively should play against these ass teams. It's like aiming for Wendy Williams and Porky's if you haven't got to play. Damn. Well, that's a theory too, Steve. All right, let's get back to the show. Man, you guys are killing me. It's time for the Broad Street bottom line. Here we go. Let's roll it. All right, the Broad Street bottom line for me today is simply put, the Phillies found a way to win. Yes, they did. 2 earned runs in the last 4 games against starting pitching is not something to shake a stick at, something to be concerned about. But what also is something to be not concerned about, but to be pretty happy about is the way the Phillies are at least eventually coming around and rounding in the form offensively and finding ways to win. I said, does a World Series contender live with scoring and winning late? No, but they find ways to win. That's what we all say. Good teams always find ways to win. And the Phillies are finding ways to win late. Do I recommend that we live the next 6 months like this? No, because I won't make it past July 4th. But it's good to see that they're rallying. It's good to see that they are finding a way. They're finding a chink in an armor, and they're taking advantage of it. And that's unfortunately, we can sit here and say, and I guess the conversation kind of sways a little bit back and forth about hitting home runs versus small ball. You're going to actually sit here and criticize a team that's hitting a lot of home runs. You sound like Buddy Ryan saying Chris Carter, all he does is score touchdowns. But it's the same way with hitting off a starting pitching versus the bullpen. They're hitting eventually, regardless if it's against the bullpen or against the starting pitching. They're coming around. They're finding a way to do it. The teams that they're playing need to do better they need to have better bullpens. You know what I'm saying? They got to find a way to be better bullpens. The Phillies are exploiting a weakness, and that's what good teams do as well. You don't go out there every game and beat them 15-0. Sometimes you got to find a way to win. Now, yes, the slow starts, the inability to drive runners in, 0 for 9 yesterday against the Nationals, runners in scoring position, just unacceptable no matter who you're talking about. Those are concerning. But they're finding a way to win, and that to me was the Broad Street bottom line today in the home opener, was they found a way to win, to leave the 40-some-odd thousand people down there at the bank happy. And by the way, now that I remember this, that was my Broad Street bottom line, brought to you by the good folks here at the It's a Wrap Sports Network that are the purveyors of such fine quality programming as The Final Word with Matty B, yours truly, airs every Sunday through Thursday at 10 p.m. No show tonight because I am on double postgame. I'm on double secret postgame probation today. I got this one, and then I got to come back later tonight for the Clear the Ice with Mike Lauro. So there'd be no final word tonight, but be back tomorrow night doing all those great final word things. But now that I remember it, can I send out a PSA to all you Philadelphia sports fans and all those of you that are listening, you can hear the sound of my voice. Could we stop with the friggin' Eagles chants at Phillies games in March? Can we please stop with the EAGLES Eagles at Phillies games? I heard it in Washington, for God's sakes, and I heard it again today. Listen, they were doing that. It started, the Eagles chants at Phillies games was a sarcastic thing. That's how it all started, was let's get past this dreck of baseball and get to the Eagles. Why are we still doing this? Get over it, man. The Eagles won the Super Bowl. We're on to the Phillies season. Stop with the Eagles chants at Phillies games in friggin' March. It's ridiculous. We look stupid when we do it. Now, kudos to Brandon Graham and Saquon Barkley tossing out the first pitch today. Outstanding work. But stop it with the Eagles chants at Phillies games in March. It's ridiculous. Thank you very much. I just had to get that off my chest. I wanted to talk about it last night, but I totally forgot about it. So, oh, man, good God. Steve Fuentes says, bottom line, after 4 games, they've shown they can go and win a game late and give up early scares, let go at early lead, and let these starters go out and do what they can do. Yeah, Steve, I agree. And I just kind of went over and said that. It is the bottom line that they want, right? I don't recommend this the way we live for the next 6 months because I won't make it. I will not make it past July 4th. If we're talking like this, if this is how they're going to go out and not score anything in 6 innings and then rally late every single game, it's going to cost me some years. But they're finding ways, and you got to be happy. And we're going to go over the Fighting's final stat pack, Matty B stat pack here as we wrap this up. But I agree. I absolutely agree. I think no matter what happens with Ranger, you keep him this year and you let him walk at the end of the year. Ranger's a whole other ball of wax there, Steve, and we definitely gotta, once he does make it to the Phillies. It's a shame. He is a free agent. Obviously, he's going to be here this year. Now, what they do with him throughout the season, and more importantly, who pushes him out, because we're all looking at Andrew Painter, right? We're all looking at that as an opportunity for the next 5th starter. And I hate to do the carousel again this year. I really do, because I think Al was kind of right about why the pitchers were giving up a lot of home runs last year, to some effect due to the carousel at the 5th rotation spot. But I don't know who's there to push Ranger right now. Now, I'm sure the Phillies hope that Andrew Painter emerges as that guy by the end of the year, and that we can say, Ranger, sorry, we just can't afford to take risks on that back problem. And we're going to let Andrew Painter be the 5th starter next year and then work his way up from there. I agree with you, though. I definitely think Rangers part of the season this year. Agreed. Are you talking about the Eagles chants? Good God, that was ridiculous. I understand in Washington, but against the Rockies at home, yeah, come on. And as I said, the whole lineage of the Eagles' chance at Phillies games was a sarcastic shot at the Phillies because it was such bad baseball. We couldn't wait to get on to the football season. And those things didn't start showing up. Well, sometimes they showed up in June because that's how bad it got early, but typically it wouldn't show up till about mid-July. But now we're doing it in friggin' March, man. Other teams are chanting their team, and we're chanting Eagles chants. And it's disrespectful to the Phillies, man. Let it go, man. The Eagles won. Congratulations. Now let's move on to baseball. Good Lord, man. I mean, if BG and Saquon are going to throw out the first pitch, you got to have it. Come on. Stop. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. If you do keep Ranger, you pay him the best utility pitcher in baseball. You do not keep him as a starter. I don't think his body will take. Well, listen, I don't think the Phillies are going to have much of a choice there, Steve, right? He's a UFA. He can do whatever he wants to do. If somebody else out there decides to take a chance on him and throw him starter money, he's going to obviously take that. So I don't know. I mean, Rangers, a huge question mark right now. And right now, as we're getting closer, and we're real close because I believe the next starter is Taijuan Walker, right? Or are they going to skip over him and go right to Wheeler? Let's take a look. I should have had this keyed up for you guys. Have they announced Wednesday's starter yet? They announced it. Let's take a look. Yep, Zach Wheeler. So they're skipping over Walker. So the Phillies have announced that Wednesday, of course, they have a day off tomorrow. Zach Wheeler will get the rock, and he'll be opposed by Kyle Freeland. So the Phillies are jumping over Taijuan Walker. Shows you the confidence they got in their $8 million a year player, boy. Woohoo! The Nationals fan deserves Eagles' chances, knowing as Commanders fans at home games, we should knock off the Eagles' chances. Now, come on, just knock them off all together, man. Listen, the Nationals fans, regardless of how they were as Commanders fans, when their team was doing well, they were doing some sort of Nats chant, which was pretty cool. What do we do when the Phillies do well? The EAGLES? I mean, come on, man. It's disrespectful to the Phillies. Come up with something. Stop it with the Eagles chants at Phillies games in March. It's ridiculous, man. Oh, yeah. Fly, Eagles, fly. All right. So I did the bottom line. Let's go around the bases. All right, let's go around the bases of Major League Baseball on this Monday afternoon. 6-1 Phillies over the Rockies, of course. Out there in Baltimore, it was 8-5 Orioles over the Red Sox. 9-0 White Sox all over the Twins. White Sox are 2-2, by the way. Mark that on your calendar. It was 11-1 Royals over the Brewers, and those were all your early games. Here are the games getting ready to kick off tonight at 6:40. Mets and Marlins from South Beach. The Rangers at Reds in the Queen City. At 7:05, it's Pittsburgh and Tampa at George Steinbrenner Field down there in Florida. The Nationals will be in Toronto at 7:07 against the Blue Jays. The Angels are playing the Cardinals at 7:45 Eastern time. Kind of odd-ass time of the day. It's for them to have a game out there. Giants and Astros at 8:10. And Guardians at Padres at 9:40. That's more like it. Tigers and Mariners at 9:40. Cubs and Athletics, 10:05, live from Sacramento, and the Braves and Dodgers at 10:10 from Chavez Ravine. And there you go. There's your round the bases on this Monday afternoon on the It's a Wrap Sports Fighting's final program. And we are going to wrap. So let's wrap this bad boy up here. By the way, tonight, for those of you that are wondering, I don't have it up here anymore. We will be back for post-game duties tonight. 10 o'clock or immediately following the Flyers-Predators game. Me and Mike are going to wrap up the Clear the Ice schedule with the Predators post-game show. Say adios to the Flyers for the 24-25 season, but some great programming lies ahead this week. Thursday night is the premiere of the Attacking Third here on the It's a Wrap Sports. Pat Bernard and Steve Fuentes. Steve was chiming in earlier there. So Pat and Steve are coming in hot and heavy on Thursday night, talking some soccer, or should we say football? I mean, do I sound like an American when I say soccer? Should I say or football? I mean, Help me out here. Am I doing it wrong? But soccer for now, every Thursday night at 9. Again, I will be your host typically every single night at 10 o'clock, but not tonight due to all the post-game stuff. And on Sunday, that's right, you heard it here. Sunday at 9, Pat Bernard takes wraparound duties until May 4th. Pat was going to do a Sunday morning show, the wraparound, until May 4th, because on May 4th, P&M and the AM is returning, and it's returning here at the It's a Wrap Sports Network. So we'll probably move the wraparound to Saturdays, but that'll be on May 4th. So make sure that you're checking all that stuff out and all the great programming. And, of course, your schedule for the Fighting's Final for the rest of this series. Sal will be here on Wednesday night, and I got you on Thursday for the series finale. And then we'll move on to the Dodgers, and what that should be a fun series. The Unis, the City Connect Unis, will be making their appearance this week. Mark that on your calendar, too. But good one. Braves are cooked. Love to see it. Again, I'm not going to sit here. We were saying the Phillies were cooked last year after a 1-3 start, and they went 40-18 through June 9th or June 1st. So I'm not saying nobody's cooked 4 games into a season. Nor am I saying somebody's going to go win the World Series 5 games, which the Dodgers are 5-0 now. That might be an anomaly, but typically I wouldn't say, the Dodgers are going to win the World Series, but it's the Dodgers and they have a track record there. So I don't know, but you got my point. What are the chances it's Rap and Party on Broad split the subs difference and what? And just reemerge given that EOP has absorbed TPL to begin with, or am I making too much sense? No, we will not. Speaking as the chief executive officer and the chief operating officer of the It's a Wrap Sports Network, we will not merge with Party on Broad. We'll work, collaborate all you want, but I'm not merging with nobody. All right. This is my thing. We are going to run this thing into the ground, and I'm going to take it there. All right, Steve, stop being Mr. Good idea fairy. All right. This is my thing. I'm picking up where I think we left off. All right. This is not, this is not an EOP thing. Yeah, I'm bringing back some EOP people, because if it ain't broken, why are we fixing stuff? That's how I felt about some of the guys that are coming onto this network now, because they gave some quality content, and I am picking up and carrying on from where I left off with EOP. So no offense to the Party on Broad guys, not at all. And as I said, collaboration will be in the works, and we will work together. But I ain't merging with nobody. All right. Nobody. My son thinks the Flyers hated Torts and are making the playoffs to prove a point. Kid turns 11 tomorrow. Smart boy. Matty B smiling at pictures now. Not as negative anymore. Who is that masked man? Listen, I was never negative. Again, that's a bad rap, man. I was never negative. I was never, ever negative. I was always very critical, and I still am critical. There's a difference. There is a difference. But that is going to do it, everybody. Thank you for chiming in. Thank you for being a part of the It's a Wrap Sports and the Fighting's Final on this Monday afternoon. Phillies 6-1 winners, home opener, 3-1 on the season, 3-1 for the month of March. They will roll into April. Off day tomorrow, and then on Wednesday, Kyle Freeland versus Zach Wheeler as we skip over Taijuan Walker's start and go right to Zach Wheeler again. That's a way to preserve Walker, right? That's a way to preserve the number 5 rotation. Maybe Ranger can work his way back in the lineup 5 days from now. Who knows? But we'll be back on Thursday or Wednesday nights. Sal G will have you for the Fighting's Final, and I will be back on Thursday to wrap up the season series, or the series, not the season series, but the series with the Rockies. And don't forget all the great programming on the network. So we will talk again here soon. Emporium is heating up. Oh, it will. Oh, you know it, Steve. We haven't even started yet. I haven't gotten the but it's going to be hard to replace last year's, right? It's going to be hard to replace That's Baseball. It's going to be hard to replace that the Phillies got further in 2023 than the Braves did. 2022. So that makes it a success. It's going to be hard to replace I Miss My Mommy, so we're not playing well. It's going to be hard, Steve. But I know Al's up to the task. I know he is, and so am I. And we'll do our very best to present the best in Big Al's Excuse Emporium items for 2025. But that's going to do it for me, folks. Have a good rest of your night. Got to hear from one more person. Who that might be? Oh, you know who it is. Harry the K. What you got?
Sky!